Alright, how's everyone doing? Welcome to From Z to A, Alphabetical Interviews with Zach Anderson. I am Zach Anderson. Today we are here at White House Productions in Shelton for the 22nd edition of Monsters of Acoustic Rock, and I am joined by Cullen Gray. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
And so I'm going to ask you the difficult questions, as long as they have something to do with the letters of your name.
Okay.
So we're going to start with C. Tell me about your musical career so far. How long have you been playing? When was your first show? Any memorable memories from that show?
Sure, yeah. I've been playing guitar for about 14 years. The first show I really had was at a small coffee shop, bookstore in Fairfax, California, called Bookbeat. And they had this little stage right in the corner next to the bathroom, and they had an open mic there every Monday. And that was kind of the first time I got up in front of people playing, and I must have been in middle school. I must have been like in 8th grade.
All right.
So shortly after I started playing, I was eager to get out in front of people.
No nerves or anything?
Yeah, but I like to talk to people about performing versus playing, and performing is a skill within itself, and it was something that I definitely wanted to work on, but there's no easy way to just, be good at performing. You just got to work on it, and so being able to, I was fortunate enough to have an environment where I could practice, at a nice open mic where people was really helpful, and it was a nice place to grow up and as a musician and as a person.
Excellent. So tell me about your guitars. I know you're a very talented instrumentalist. So tell me, how many guitars you own? What makes? Do you have a preference of which ones you play live?
Sure. I just have one guitar. I have a Breedlove. It's an Atlas series, and I've had it probably about 8 years now. I got it just before I started college, and it's something that I've really focused a lot of effort into, and it's something that's allowed me to write certain things, and it's just a really nice instrument. And then I use a number of effects pedals and things as well, so I have a Digitech Jam Man and a Strymon Timeline and a Boss ME80 multi-effects pedal, and kind of between the three of those I do a lot of looping and delay sound effects and things like that.
Awesome. So do you have any pre-show rituals, anything that's required of you to do before the show to get ready?
I try to warm up and just run through a couple of pieces that might be more difficult to me, but it's usually just trying to relax and meet people and have a good time and just kind of scope out the spot, but nothing too out of the ordinary in terms of rituals.
All right, cool. Now, how much does an audience affect your set? Do you tend to change things up depending on how they react to certain songs, or do you strictly stick to what you planned out ahead of time?
Yeah, it depends if I'm working on new music, if I'm feeling comfortable and confident, and if the environment calls for trying a new piece, then I'll go for it. That's another tool that open mics are really good for, is trying new pieces, but I usually stick pretty close to what my set list is, and then I can really dig deep and try to get the best out of those pieces.
All right. Now, do you have any particular musical goals for this year? Perhaps writing or recording or touring, anything like that?
Sure. A couple of years ago I did a Kickstarter for my first album, and that was a huge goal for me. And since then I've finally been able to kind of decompress and start writing new music. And that's kind of the big goal for 2018, is to really focus on new pieces and try to get those out there, and then eventually go through the Kickstarter cycle again, because that was a really positive experience.
Right.
And so I just want to make sure I'm fully prepared for another album. So definitely focusing on an album length's worth of new pieces is probably the biggest goal right now.
Excellent. So I'd like to end all of my interviews with 3 interesting or random facts about yourself that many people might not know.
Sure. Well, I studied music. That's kind of a music-related thing. I don't know if that's too weird, but I have a BFA in classical performance for guitar, and that was me learning how to sight read for the first time. Was when I went to college. I was self-taught until college, and that first year totally kicked my butt. I hadn't done ear training or theory or sight reading or anything like that, and so that was a big change for me, and working on classical music, which I don't particularly play as much now with steel string, but it comes and goes, and it is definitely helpful. I just got a new job recently. I work for a solar company, and that's my day job now, and I had no idea I would ever be working in the solar industry. I've always worked in food and with music, of course, but so that's been a nice change for the new year. I'm really into video games. I built the 2 computers that we have at home, and I used to play semi-competitively online, and so that's definitely another pastime.
What's your favorite video game of all time?
It used to be Team Fortress 2. Lately I've been playing a lot of Overwatch.
Okay.
It's pretty fun, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
If you'd like to check out Cullen Gray, please visit the link below. And now we'll cut to a performance from Cullen. So thanks again, and we'll see you later.